As long as you stick with it and you got a good group of people behind you, you're going to succeed. Hey, it's Cameron with the Atlas Strength Shop. We're back with another video, and today we're going to talk about something that we get asked all the time, and that is how Atlas even got started in the first place, and if you're in other parts of the country, how you can recreate a similar type of environment in your area. So the bad news is it was a long road. It's not something that just happened overnight. If you found me through TikTok, that's been a relatively recent medium. If you found me through YouTube, then we've been here for a little while, although we just started putting out more content. And if you've been following us on Instagram since the beginning, you know it's been a long road. And for me, it started all the way back in 2014, whenever I was in Afghanistan. While I was in Afghanistan, I decided to pursue getting personal training certification. And when we weren't out on a mission, I would study, and I'd study my ass off. As soon as we got home, I got certified, and then I got a job working at a Snap Fitness in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. At the time, I was just one of their trainers. In fact, I was their only trainer. Started doing that, and eventually the person who was the general manager of that location moved, and I wound up filling that role. So at this point, it was 2015, and I was running a Snap Fitness in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. During this time, I was also doing CrossFit. I had gotten into CrossFit while I was overseas. They actually had it was Kandahar CrossFit. It was an actual affiliate location it was a nonprofit kind of a thing. CrossFit HQ came out and certified a bunch of coaches, and that's just what we did whenever we had some downtime while we were in Kandahar. So I was doing CrossFit, I was running a Snap Fitness, and watching a lot of YouTube. And as it happens when you're watching a lot of YouTube, it goes from video to video automatically. Maybe you got here due to an autoplay of a video, but I was watching the CrossFit Games, and then it wound up on the Arnold Strongman Classic. At the time, I had no idea what strongman was, but it was interesting because it appealed to my base instincts of just wanting to pick up something heavy. And that's what I loved about CrossFit, but I hated the burpees. So strongman really appealed to me. Got on Google, started looking around, and there was nowhere in the area to train strongman. So I decided to start buying some equipment. By this point, it's early 2016. I'm using the money that Snap is paying me to just start stockpiling equipment. I got a couple of stones, got a Husafell stone, I got a log that I found on Craigslist, wound up buying a yoke, and all this was just either tucked away in the corner of this little bitty small box gym, or it was in one of our storage closets. And we would just, like, for the sake of the yoke, we'd pull it out, put it together, use it outside, and then put it back. A couple people started showing up to train there because at the time starting Strongman had a really good database. I believe that got crashed by hackers, but people would find us and we'd start working on Strongman. I did my first competition in North Carolina, did another one in Alabama. All this before the Atlas Strength Shop was a physical location. In 2016, I wound up actually getting the logo made. Went through a company called, 99 Designs, that I found through the Tim Ferriss podcast. Got some logos looked at, and eventually settled on the one you see everywhere today. That's what I started doing my personal training under. So I was doing personal training under Atlas at a Snap Fitness. And we mainly focused on strength training. That was our thing. Did that all the way up until summer of 2018. During the summer of 2018, my unit in the National Guard, the first sergeant at the time, gave me a call. He offered me a full-time position with them. And it paid twice as much money as Snap, so I accepted. I would have been an idiot not to. But now I wasn't working at Snap anymore, so I needed a place to keep all of my stuff. And while I did have some equipment stored in the apartment that I was living in at the time, like I had a bunch of squat racks just stacked behind my, brand new in the box, squat racks just stacked behind my couch, I didn't have enough room there to move all of my equipment. So I started looking around, and I found on Craigslist a spot that's actually right down the road from where we are right now. It was 1,000 square feet and only cost $600 a month. And I knew that if the military was going to be something that I kept doing, that I could afford that even if nobody showed up. Because like I said, that paid twice as much as what I was making at Snap Fitness, and I was doing just fine at Snap Fitness. So because of the type of orders I got on, it was like these end of the year orders, I wanted to make sure I was going to get carried over to the next fiscal year. Once I knew I was going to get carried over, I went and I signed some paperwork. During this time, I also was due the second half of a re-enlistment bonus, so that was several $1,000s. I had started a business account with Chase and had a sizable limit on a credit card. I used some money I saved up from paychecks, the second half of a re-enlistment bonus, and I maxed out a business credit card to buy a couple more racks, a few odds and ends like a reverse hyper, GHD machine, and flooring, and paint for the first location of the Atlas Strength Shop. And like I said, we were in 1,000 square feet. If you scroll back on the video, or not on the video, if you scroll back on YouTube, roughly in the October 2018 timeframe, you will see our first location. It was tiny. And in fact, I posted a video of a quick gym tour to starting Strongman back then, and somebody said congratulations on the nice home gym. It wasn't a home gym. So anyway, I could afford this place even if people even if people didn't show up, I could afford it, but people started showing up, and before long we had 10, 15 people, and it felt crowded. Like we were at 1,000 square feet, so 10, 15 people doing strongman stuff in there. Isn't gonna work on Strongman Saturday. We had a nice big parking lot where we do our moving events. Sometimes we bring the log out there if we want to do some log and stay away from people, but we needed a change. So less than a year after we opened our first location, I talked to my landlord, like, hey, do you have a spot that's any bigger? And he showed me a spot that was about a mile away that was 2,000 square feet. Had bigger office, which I didn't really need a bigger office, but it had a bigger office. And it was twice as much space. We were able to put another squat rack in. We were able to get a leg press, a few more assistance exercises. And to fund this, I wound up getting a loan from a company called Upstart. So that's what funded moving into the second location. And for a while, we were losing money, but it grew again, and it got to the point where we were bringing in twice as much revenue as our expenses. So we started paying off some loans that we got. We started paying off some credit card stuff, and things were looking good. By this point, it is just before the pandemic. Pandemic hits. Everybody knows what happens with that. Well, us, just like pretty much every gym like us in the nation that is a small underground strength gym, we went dark. We stopped posting on social media, we stopped posting to our private Facebook group, and we started a private group chat. And we operated by Fight Club rules. We kept the gym open. Nobody knew. We even had some local police that were members of the gym. And that's just how we operated for the next 3-4 months. During this period of time, a local powerlifting team who was training at a non-powerlifting gym, they reached out to us and was like, hey, we need a place to train. And we heard from some people that y'all were operating like Fight Club rules, which I don't know how they did that if we were operating by Fight Club rules and everybody was listening. So we let them in. That allowed us to basically double our total number of members overnight. During this time, it was also Hurricane Laura. I was gone most of the time due to still being part of the military. That's something I should mention. At this point, Atlas is still just a part-time side gig for me because I am still full-time in the National Guard. So we grew this much while I could only give it a part-time effort. Like, Atlas wasn't feeding me, the military was. So we were able to grow a lot, and I was like, hey, look, we need more space. By this point, we were about 2 years and 2 months into having Atlas. We started planning our first competition. It was going to be the first annual Rougarou Classic. We wound up having to postpone it twice due to COVID. Started talking to the landlord, and he showed me the place that's right across the street from here. We looked at it, we liked it, we settled on it, we got ready to sign the paperwork. I shot him a text, said, hey, what time do we want to meet to sign this? He shoots me a text back that said, hey, got some bad news. Amazon actually reached out to me. They want to rent this building for the next 5 years. I'm like, okay, I understand. You have to feed your family. That's guaranteed money for the next 5 years. You can't turn down Amazon money. Come to find out, Amazon pulled out. I don't know why he didn't tell me, but Amazon wound up pulling out. But instead, he showed me this spot that we are in right now. Spot across the street, 6,000 square feet. This spot, 7,600. So we went from 1,000 square feet to now 7,600. Signed the paperwork on that, and it's a funny story on how that wound up happening. So we were originally going to have the first annual Rougarou Classic at a Twin Peaks here in Baton Rouge. It's gonna be a parking lot show, similar to the car shows that they always do. They wound up pulling out at the last minute. We got the go-ahead from the state to actually hold the competition, because like I said, this was COVID era. But everybody else had rescheduled something on the same night. So there was a boxing match and an LSU game on the same night. It was supposed to be our strongman competition. And they were worried the city was gonna come, shut the whole thing down because there were too many people. It sucked, but I understand, but we had 2 weeks to pivot. So at this point, we had already decided on this location. It was a done deal, just needed to sign the paperwork, talked to the landlord and said, hey, can we sign the paperwork a month early? We use the space for the weekend so that we can have our competition because our venue pulled out, and he said yes. Our first competition was held October of 2020 in an empty warehouse. So I say it was empty, there was still some trash in there. There was somebody was storing a tractor in here, but we made it work. And then a month later, we moved in here. That was November of 2020. So now we've been here almost 2 years. I left my full-time position probably, March. So that was March, April, May, June, July, August, 5 months ago now. We were on what's somewhat stable footing. I'm not gonna lie. Every month, I'm stressing out to make this place work because we did lose out on a lot of guaranteed income from leaving my military job, but this place has been growing. Like, we've almost tripled the amount of members that we've had since I left my military job. We've more than quadrupled the amount of people that we have training with. And it's just been amazing. But that being said, from 2014, all this started. 2018 is when we got a physical location. That was after 4 years of brand building. Now it's 2022, and we're just starting to reap some benefit of it. So if starting a community like this is something that you're looking at doing, be patient. You're in it for the long haul if you are trying to start a community. And as long as you stick with it and you got a good group of people behind you, you're going to succeed. So that's it for the video. If you like this video, then please like it, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out a ton. If you're in the Baton Rouge area and you'd like to come and join our community, shoot me a message on Instagram. We'll see what we can do to make that happen. If you're not in the area and you still want to support us, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can go to the website and check out our awesome apparel line, or check out the hypertrophy program that we just dropped on the website. I'm actually going to drop the link to that below. So hopefully you like it. So until next time, keep that Titan